it's safe to go on Twitter yet. Anyway, I'd got what I was going to say pretty much planned, and towards the end I think we'd have all took a 0-0, but then we got that, caught out by that sucker punch right at the end. But it doesn't matter who we're playing, they're all good sides, and although Sheffield United are, I suppose, quite an unfashionable team, I think it's easy to underestimate them sometimes, but they've got something to play for with Europe, and they've had a great season. And we've gone there today, and it's been difficult. And, not making excuses, but a few of our players were under par, pretty much like the Arsenal game. Nuno switched it around a little bit today, but he's going to see areas he knows he's got to work on. Why Daniel Pedence is not getting an opportunity, I'm not quite so sure, because I think today could have been a game at 0-0 to bring him in and show us what he can do. But, once again, Ruben Neves as well, that free kick, that, if that goes in, it's a different game completely, where he rattled the bar, but it just wasn't to be today. So I am going to go and isolate from Twitter with my Wolves mask. Keep tuning in to Talking Wolves. They're doing a great job. And I'll see you soon.
What the hell was that? Last minute goals are always the worst when you concede. Just the way that we played, a defeat was coming, unfortunately. Again, it's two games, 2 shots on target. That is not a team that should be, in the words of most of our fans a couple of weeks ago, a team that is challenging for the Champions League position. That is shocking. As much as people are going to say, oh, at least we're proud to be in the position that we're in now, considering what we were years ago, that goes out the window now. How many times have we said, oh, we can do this, we can do that, but as soon as we lose games, trust the team, you cannot be negative, how dare you say anything bad. Just remember where we were 5 years ago against Crawley. It's an awful mentality that our fan base has. Are we going to say that today then? Are we just going to be like, oh, it's just a one-off game, it's this and that? We played, if not worse, than what we did against Arsenal. But yet again, where was the ability to play the ball? We was too slow. I mean, bringing on Dead Donkey. I mean, for crying out loud. Adama can change a game single-handedly on his own. And you sub on someone to try and preserve a draw in probably one of the most important games in this club's modern history. What on earth is Nuno playing at? He got it wrong from the start. Why the hell did we sign Podence? It's like just signing a Catrona replacement for the bench. It's shocking. What else was there you could say? Jimenez, why is he having a drift out wide every single time? You want your striker in the central area when Adama whips those crosses in. Why is he out there almost essentially playing as a right winger and almost that attacking midfielder trying to link everything up? It just doesn't work. We looked awful since the sub came on. I mean, we have 5 subs. Nuno chooses to bring one on to try and preserve a 0-0 draw. He's got it wrong today. He's got it completely wrong. I said a couple of weeks ago, Europa League would still be a good season. Now looking at it, that'll be absolute gold dust if we get that.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Absolutely heartbreaking, really. Of course, Wolves losing 1-0 to Sheffield United. Another disappointing performance. I'm not really sure what's going on at the moment. I'd imagine most of us were probably asleep by the time that Sheffield United goal went in. Just really poor again. Just nothing going forward. I'm really starting to be concerned, really, that the fact that Jimenez and Traore aren't doing it, aren't doing the business as they did in the first few games. All of a sudden, we just don't look like we have anything going forward. First half was pretty decent, to be honest. I think we played all right. Neves hit the bar with a free kick. Things were looking promising. But I think the main problem is creating. We're just not creating enough. Hugely disappointing performance. I'm just not really sure where the goals are going to come from. Our passing was all off. Defending was poor. We just didn't look solid at all. And Nuno's substitutions. I mean, we don't criticise Nuno very often because the fact that we're even in this position in the first place, competing for Champions League football, is ridiculous. But his substitutions today were absolutely abysmal. I mean, to bring on Leander Dendoncker for Adama Traore with 15 minutes to go, needing a goal, For me, says it all, and it says why it shows why we've got 13 draws this season, and a couple of those draws turned into wins, and we'd be right up there. But it's been another shocking performance, really, and I try and stay positive. I said after the Arsenal game, this team has a tendency to bounce back, but we really haven't done it today, and that's pretty much it, really. I think for the Champions League football, I think we needed to win today to stay in the race. I think our best chance now is winning the Europa League. Really, I can't see us getting top 4, top 5 now. That dream's pretty much dead. Fair play to Sheffield United, though. Really good performance from them. And, John Egan, I'll put him in my team of the season so far, actually, scoring the header. No, sorry, that was O'Connell. But I rate Egan highly as a Premier League defender. And he did really well to get the header. And Sheffield United did well to get the 3 points. So, really, really disappointing. Not really too much to say about it. It was just a poor game, but we've hit rough patches before. There's still 4 games to go, so as long as we can just get the most amount of points really from those games, that's all we can take. But yeah, another poor result today. So yeah, very disappointing.
It's another dreadful performance. Something has to change. I feel like the 3 wins against Bournemouth, West Ham and Villa simply just papered over the cracks of the bigger picture at Wolves, which is we're easy to play against. We're so deep and defensive, and it's so boring to watch. It's rubbish football, and people don't realise that until we start losing games, start drawing games. And we're winning, it's great because we're picking up results and grinding it out. But when you're not, it's rubbish. It's crap to watch. I feel like we're easy to play against. You know exactly what we're going to do. It's so one-dimensional. If Traore's not playing well or injured, you might as well forget it. It's so frustrating that we're just going to crawl over the finish line now when we had such a promising start, especially coming back to the restart. Back 3 today, dreadful. Bolly looks half asleep. Cody rubbish. Sace rubbish. The only one who can kind of hold the head up high is Neves. Now he brings Dendoncker on. And we're chasing the game, we're actually, we're pinning them in their own half. Why'd you bring Dendoncker on? You got Pedence on the bench, who's rushed back from Portugal to play. You obviously don't trust him, well let him go. It's just rubbish. It's another frustrating performance that, again, papers over the bigger picture that there needs to be a change of system. It has to. Sheffield United fully deserved it in the end. They went there, they were there at the end trying to win the game. For some reason, we shut up shop when we were we were pinning them back in their own half. It's another one that Nuno's got wrong. I'm sure he knows that. Something has to change, whether it's personnel or shape. But I feel that Nuno will be too stubborn and probably to his own detriment. Not looking forward to Everton now.
Well, Sheffield United 1, Wolves 0. I think disappointment is somewhat of an understatement. I actually wasn't overly confident for tonight's game. I thought a draw might be on the cards. Not necessarily a disaster. I know there's only a 1 point difference, but a loss, particularly last minute like that, hurts quite a lot more. I was expecting Nuno to make subs earlier than he did, and multiple of them. Not sure it was necessarily a negative substitution, Dendoncker being the one that came on and going 3-5-2, but I think it was just too late and didn't really seem like the right sub at the time. It was crying out for someone like a Neto or Pedence. I thought our front 3, particularly towards the end of the game, whether or not it's the amount of games or the weather, or just how much running they'd been doing, but they just kept running into people, weren't often getting past, weren't looking like scoring ultimately. As much as that was organised Sheffield United defence, and Wolves looked organised for long periods. I think we're definitely looking more at keeping teams behind us than looking at bringing teams in front of us back into our sights, really. It'll still be a very good season, but there's definitely problems that look like they need, whether it's problems that need to be fixed or whether teams have figured us out. We're looking leggy, we look like we need fresh legs, occasionally some fresh ideas. We need to rally for the end of the season and make sure we finish strong regardless whatever, because regardless of the league position, we really want to be heading into the Europa League fresh and trying to do something. Everyone keeps talking about the Champions League qualifications, Europa League. I'm more bothered about just having a crack at winning the Europa League. I mean, ultimately, From our country, Man U are looking obviously like the biggest threat at the moment, I would say to that. They're very much in form. Wolves seem to be drifting out of it. But we've seen that before when Wolves have a few bad games. And when people suddenly start getting on Nuno's back, they pull out a few results. So I definitely don't think it's all doom and gloom, but it's just a very disappointing day. Hopefully we can rectify it next time, finish the season strong, and see where we go from there. So, yeah, let's look out for next time.
Well, that was a difficult watch. The worst so far of this mini-season. I think in the first half we shaded it. I was quite confident as we turned round. I thought actually we're going to win 2-0. I had a bet with the wife. She said we're going to lose 1-0, so hats off to her. Second half, we were very much second fiddle to Sheffield United. We seemed to want to play their way rather than play our way. Lots of midfield scrapping in the air. Just not the way Wolves play. Once Adama left the field, we had no threat at all up front. And I have to question our lack of substitutions. Some of those guys, Podence, he must wonder what he's here for. Get him on. The next few games are going to define our season, but let's not moan. We've had a great season, and I know we will bounce back.